A Night Shared in a Memory of Escape by Alejandra Pizarnik. Beating on the grave. On the border of language, they are beating on the grave. Who's there? I asked. I said, who's there? And how much more of this intrusion of the external into the internal, or of the less internal into the internal, that weaves like a burlap cloak over my unspeakable poverty? It wasn't the dream. It wasn't the vigil. It wasn't the crime or the birth. It was only the heavy blow, like a knife blow on the grave of a friend. And the absurdity of my right side, the absurdity of a willow tree leaning on its right side over the river, my right arm, my right shoulder, my right ear, my right leg, my right possession and dispossession. To turn aside toward my left girl, blue stains, mysterious blue stains on my left palm, a space of virgin silence, a place of rest where I wait for myself. No, she's still too unknown. I still can't recognize these new sounds that begin as a song of protest that is different from my own, which is a song of burning, the song of a girl lost in a silent, ruined city. And how many centuries has it been since I've been dead and loved you? I hear my voices, the chorus of the dead, trapped between the boulders, recessed in the cleft of a rock. I am not the one who speaks. It is the wind, which makes me flail my arms, which makes me think that the chorus of chants shaped by this flailing are words that come from myself. And this was when I began to die, when they struck the foundations, and I remembered myself. The trumpets of death are blaring, a procession of dolls with mirror hearts that all stare back with my blue-green eyes. You mimic the old hand-me-down gestures. The ladies of antiquity went to the wall of lepers and sang among them, and listened to the trumpets, and watched. They, the imagined ones, an imaginary procession of dolls whose mirror hearts reflected my eyes, the eyes of a gold paper bird, assailed by the winds. This little imaginary bird thinks it is singing when it can barely warble. It is like a willow tree bending over a river. The little paper doll. I cut her out of green and red and sky blue paper, and she lay flat on the floor, extreme in her lack of volume or dimension. They set you in the middle of the road, little wanderer, and you are in the middle of a road where no one can identify you. Even when you scream, there's no distinction between yourself and the ground. Since there are, after all, so many things on the road that could scream, why would anyone stop to consider the meaning of such a green and red and sky blue blemish? If you press them with blood or fire, my images leave imprints without sound, without color, not even white. If the tracks of night animals etched into the inscriptions on my bones, if I rooted into the place of memory the way an animal padding along a mountain ledge could suddenly make the slightest misstep and fall, I speak of the irreparable. I ask for nothing less than the irreparable, the unbound body, and the bones scattered into the silence of that treacherous snow. Looking ahead to my return, I want you to dress me in a lilac shroud, and then sing me a song of unprecedented tenderness, a song that doesn't speak of life or death, but of the slightest gesture, of the most imperceptible sign of acquiescence, A song that isn't quite a song. A song like the drawing of a little house beneath a sun that's missing some of its rays. That's where the little girl made of green and red and sky blue paper might live. Maybe she'll stand on her own there. Maybe even walk around in that little house of hers, which someone has drawn on a blank sheet of paper.